Well, anyway, this Black Lives Matter. I mean, for me, it's really eye-opening in terms of what you did, because I feel like I'm one of those people that needs to be more educated, and I'm open to it, and only because of the time I grew up and whatever, and I have tons of Black friends, and I don't really even think about it that way, but I mean, I still feel like I need to be educated in the way that the newer generations are coming up the ranks, because we all have to work together and communicate, and we need to understand you guys, like what's going on. Especially, I mean, me with Supergirls, and I help women in college, and I really need to understand that perspective. So for me, it was like a home run. And I'm curious. So thank you. I'm curious, what are you going to do next? I mean, is that like in your mind, like, oh my God, I did this epic thing and now I need to do something else? Or no, or you're like, you know what, one and done, that was great. How are you thinking about it?
I definitely am thinking about it as this is sort of a starting off point and pushing me and giving me motivation. I posted on my LinkedIn, I don't know if you saw it, I posted it yesterday, but earlier in the month, I did a fundraiser on my Instagram. It was on June 3rd. I just was, I'm not financially stable enough to just have money that I could donate and give to every organization that I love and want to support. Unfortunately, I wish hopefully one day that I get to that point. But
you just graduated from college. I mean, don't give yourself a break.
No, I know. But I hope one day that I'll just have an, endless bank account that I'll be able to give back and, help those in need. But anyway, I decided to do my own fundraiser on my Instagram. So for 24 hours, I basically told people that I would be taking donations, any amount. I made it super simple. I started with denominations of 3, 5, and 10. So it wasn't even that big of a commitment to make. It was super easy. And, there are so many places to donate and so many different resources. I feel like people are just spammed with them right now, and people are stressed and don't know what is the best option. Is my money going to the right place? So I decided to raise money, and in 24 hours, I was able to raise $6,200. And then I was able to work with employees at Visa and Google. A lot of companies right now, but usually for big campaigns, do like company donation matching programs. So I was able to work with both a Visa and Google employee to get those donations matched. So that $6,200, then I was able to turn into $17,000 to donate.
You go, girl. That is unbelievable.
So that was earlier this week that I was able to donate it, and I put up another little graphic that my friend Jillian made once again about where the money was going to, and the 6 organizations I donated to. 2 were specifically in support of Black trans lives, and the other 4 were just organizations that help support African Americans all over the U.S. And yeah, it was great. So those 2 things have been the sort of biggest things that I've done in quarantine, and a lot of people are reaching out to me and showing their support and knowing my name now, and it's really, really great. So I am sort of riding this high and wanting to do more. But along with that, I've been wanting to write a blog and start a blog for the past year and a half. So in quarantine, that's been one of my main focuses as well. So that is another project of mine that I'm working on that will hopefully be up and running soon.
I can't wait to read it. You know what? This could be a book. This could be the beginning of a book too. Yeah, the blog's a great way to start. You can always turn that into a book, but this is fantastic. I didn't see that. I missed it on social. I'm gonna have to find it. I've been a little crazy this week, but I need to find it and repost it, because that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for doing all this incredible stuff for the world. I mean, this is what's gonna happen. I'm predicting it. People are gonna find you and gonna hire you. That's what's gonna happen. Like, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the plan. My mom is trying to brand me, and you know how she is, and just create me into this whole thing. And but it's crazy. I mean, I was able to donate $17,000 from my childhood bedroom in my pajamas. It was the most insane thing. So I'm hoping this comes into a bigger thing and people are, seeing my posts, and yeah, I'm hoping that it eventually could turn into a job.
Of course, the visa and Google, I mean, they would be the first places I would look. This is like your thing. I mean, this is what you're doing. And the thing about it is, the integrity is there. So it's not like you're doing it for the fame. You're doing it because you really care. I mean, you majored in sociology. You want to do something that helps people. This is like the real Victoria coming out. I mean, and so I think when people see that, they're just like, this girl is like, we have to have this girl. So I would be reaching out to them, and it must be tempting not to keep that $17,000. No, I'm like kidding.
My parents said the exact same thing. I was like, oh my God, you guys were so terrible. No, they were super supportive, and they didn't understand. I left my room after being in my room quiet for 12 hours. My mom's like, what'd you do today? Like, oh, I raised $6,000. She's like, what? You did what? So, yeah.
That is so awesome. Oh my God. Okay, so I did want to focus our talk on this whole Black Lives Matter and civil rights. So I really love that you shared all that. That's amazing. So what do you think, in your opinion, what else can we be doing to help, move the civil rights into the right direction? Especially as women.
I think one of the most important things is holding people accountable. Like, we can't move forward if people are still pretending we live in 1845. So educating people, holding them accountable when they're racist, sexist, transphobic, xenophobic, all of that. We need to open people's eyes to the injustices that minorities face every day. And, if people are claiming to be hard-headed or ignorant, whatever you want to call it, it's on them. And honestly, I personally don't have sympathy for those people because they have none for me and for my experience as a minority. If they aren't willing to unlearn the things that we're socialized to believe, because we are socialized, when we're born as a child, we aren't born with hate in our heart. We are taught these things. And if they aren't willing to unlearn those things, then that's on them. And we, especially as Black women, can't take our time and energy to try to drill these ideas into someone's head when they don't want to believe it. And for white women, I think it's hard for people to understand, especially white people, when they haven't experienced it directly. But I've been trying to compare it to understanding sexism under the male patriarchy and like how that's another form of discrimination. And if white women could think to a time of when they experienced sexism and were hurt or offended or discouraged, and they can think about how those feelings are felt by someone when it comes to race. And I think that helps put it into perspective. And definitely race and sexism aren't the same thing. And unfortunately, Black women, and I say that women with an X, as in women with, which includes non-binary and trans women and cis women, etc., experience both racism and sexism. So, I mean, understanding that pain of being discriminated against as a white woman, being a woman, maybe it can give some perspective of what it's like to be a Black woman, or to be Black, or to be gay, or to be trans, or to be, anything that is a minority. Yeah.
Thank you for that. So beautifully said and expressed, and that's definitely necessary. So now we have to wrap up. Unfortunately, because we could talk for another hour. Maybe I'll have you back on the show another time to talk more, to hear more of your thoughts, your epic thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
But one last question. If you could give your younger sisters a piece of advice as they rise up through the ranks, what would it be?
I would say my advice for people younger than me, especially if you're in college, is to just do something that makes an impact. And I mean like a real impact. I think that's one of my biggest regrets now graduating. I had a smaller social circle. I wasn't really like in the scene. I was only in a few clubs. And there's this concept in sociology called the sociological imagination, which a part of it says that everyone has an impact on society, and vice versa. Society has an impact on all of us, no matter how small it may be. So the fact that we attend a specific school, take specific classes, meet specific people, definitely changes the trajectory of that place and time in general, but we need to make a bigger splash. And I'm doing more now out of school than I did on campus. And I personally have my reasons for that. But even though it's great I'm still doing this work now, I wish I did do more while I was on campus. So try to leave college without any regrets, make the most out of it, because it will be the fastest 4 years ever. I mean, my senior year, I went with Mark to visit you in Salt Lake City. And that literally feels like last week. Like, I can't believe that was 4 years ago. So seriously, to my younger sisters and to anyone listening, just try to live your life with no regrets. And, you know, that's it.
Awesome. Well, you're definitely doing enough now to make up for it. And I bet all our listeners would agree. The $17,000 girl. All right. What is the best way to stay in touch with you if our listeners wanted to reach out?
Yes, definitely reach me on Instagram, probably. I have a weird name. It's Fried Pickles 123. So FriedPickles 123 on Instagram, or you could find me on LinkedIn. It's Victoria Guardino, Guardino. Yeah, I'm pretty reachable. So if anyone has any questions or wants to talk more, definitely hit my line.
Awesome, Victoria. Thanks again so much for being here. And listeners, definitely listen to her, what she's saying. I mean, no regrets. Make an impact. We only go around once. We're only promised today. So make it happen. Thanks for being here. Love you, girl. XOXO.
Thank you, Jeannie. Love you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for all you're doing. And listeners, that's it. It's a wrap. Get out there and slay those dragons.